All right, everybody, hello and welcome back. It is Freestyle Friday here on Minor League Esports. My name is Hunted. With me is Sniper Gus. Sniper, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm super excited. We got some Premier League action left tonight, and we got some Champions League action. For the first time ever, I get to call a game played by my good friend Addo. I'm super stoked about that. And we've got some really great games on the docket tonight, so this is going to be good.
That we do. Now, we do kind of want to talk about this one. The Foxes, I mentioned it before we went to break. The Foxes have gone undefeated thus far in throughout the first 5 weeks. They're 5-0. They're 20-5 total, which is pretty insane when you think about it. But for the Hive, they're not doing too poorly themselves. They're 15-10, 3-2. And I think if anybody can challenge the Foxes, I think it's this Hive team.
Absolutely. I mean, the Hive are in 5th place, so I mean, they stand a really good chance at that. But at the same time, they have their work cut out for them. In terms of statistics, Adocad, you're Hunted, you're not playing. Adocad and Henry are both top 10 players in the Premier League this season.
Right.
So, I mean, really, they represent one of the most dangerous tandems in the league. So the Hive are not going to have an easy time of this, but they can do it. They just have to really get out to a strong start and not let go.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. I am getting a couple messages on Discord real quick. Some of the players having a bit of an issue. I'm going to go ahead and turn the cams off because if I mess with Discord, then everything will get all messed up. So turning teams up and running, but we are back on cameras now, so all of these people get to see our beautiful faces talk about nothing for about 10 minutes until somebody returns. But yeah, I mean, this one probably is the match I'm looking forward to the most. I mean, it is Premier League, of course, so it's going to be some of the highest level, but I really think that this matchup, if the Hive can play it the way that they've been playing throughout the season, I think the Foxes. I don't think the Foxes are going to roll through this series.
No, absolutely not. You know, we talk about Addo and Henry being top 10 players in the league. Malamente, that's a hard name. Mala and Prosperity are no slouches themselves. They're both averaging 4.4 and 4.7 for their MVPR. So these are both two very good players as well. It's going to be a game of inches all the way through. And whichever team takes that first inch, as long as they can hold on to it, they should be able to weather the storm.
Certainly. Yeah, I think that's an interesting point. And it is something I want to explore as we kind of get through the game. I think it'll start to develop more as we watch. But I guess I was going to save this a little bit for later, but since we are kind of do have a bit of a brief delay, why don't we show you guys the play of the week winner for week number 5. So here you go. Check this out.
Playing a safer game. And, you know, I think it's because they realize now that the series truly is on the line. If the Hive drop this, what a double from Triple S. That is how you put yourself out in front. A good challenge in the middle. And he doesn't even come back down. He burns a ton of boost on this one, but he gets the read exactly where he needs it. That's got to feel great.
That was pretty. Cortez, he's got some room to work here. He may be able to get this into the mid, trying to get it done himself. It's off the post, he rolls it home. What a crazy play by Cortez. That is likely your Academy League play of the week.
I thought for sure once this thing is crossed most of the way in the net, like, oh, this is over. It was a good idea, but he needed to get the pass out. No. He's just delaying the excellence for as long as possible.
Overtime, game 3.
So it's all going to depend on who can avoid the mistakes in these initial first couple seconds. And wow, Cali! Hashtag POTW. Clip it, put it in the Discord. Cali with the excellent read off the backboard drives it in.
All right, guys, there you have it. Callie, congratulations for that wonderful, wonderful play. That double touch was fantastic. I remember watching it live. Such a great play and well-deserved win for you. But the players are ready. We're going to take a quick look at the map real quick. It is Utopia Coliseum. Take a look at this one, guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are underway. Game number 1 between the Premier League Hive and Foxes. This should be a wonderful spectacle as we are just underway. Only 15 seconds gone by, and both of these teams, you've got to wonder, Sniper, how important is the start to this first game for these teams?
I mean, it's going to be absolutely critical because there's so little to separate these guys in terms of skill. Whoever gains that first advantage will be in the advantageous position for a long time. They're going to give each other a lot of space to work at first and really going to feel each other out here. So whoever scores first, definitely going to have a big advantage in game 1.
Well, let's find out which team will eke out that first goal. We're about a minute gone by in this first game. Prosperity's trying to make the touch. It's going to go off the crossbar. Cleared away by the Foxes, but that's a double commit. They've got to be quick, though, to the Hive. There it is, the first goal. Malamente on the board.
Yep, and this is a really unfortunate touch from AutoCAD and Henry there. They're just kind of in exactly the same space, and they both think they have to go for that, which leaves them horribly double committed. They don't get enough power on that ball to get it out of there. Malamente is able to get the turn on and score that first goal. And like we said, it's going to be huge. It means that Henry and Atto have to play from behind, and that's definitely not a feeling they're going to be used to after the way this season has been for them.
Certainly not. We'll see how they can handle this as the Hive are still trying to press the advantage. To the top comes Henry. Malamente into the corner. Henry again off the back wall. AutoCAD trying to follow this one up. Hive not trying to give them a whole lot of space and doing it quite well. Malamente is going to play that away from AutoCAD. As now the ball is up in the air. Malamente looking for Prosperity. Henry cutting it off. This could be an opportunity for the Foxes. Got to hustle to this one, but a good clear off that back wall. It does look like the Hive, they're not sitting back and waiting for things to happen, but they're also playing pretty solid defense when it comes down to it.
Yeah, they're taking a really good rotational stance and just trying not to let the Foxes get in behind them and give up any silly opportunities. And that'll work really well for playing defense, but it won't create opportunities for them, and they'll need that if they want to expand the lead.
Well, 2:45 to go. 1-0 for the Hive as Henry's got to run back and chase this one into his own corner. Malamente watching him. He's going to try to bump him off the ball, but it's not going to work as he will eventually find his teammate, but he gets bumped in the process. Here comes Prosperity, can't get over Henry. They are still 1-0 with about 2:25 to go in this game 1.
Yep, I really like the way the Hive set up and play in the midfield. If they can get there and contest those balls, they're in a good position to maintain their offense. They just don't get to spend a lot of time there because the Hive are really pressuring well, keeping the ball on the gray side of the field.
Good touch. Get over top of the defenders, and we've seen already a couple of double commits from the Foxes. We've got to see if they can curb that. They haven't been punished too terribly bad for it quite yet. But the Hive have been looking for it, and Malamente is just running circles, trying to avoid the demo. There, I believe it was Henry looking for that one as he will push it down back into the Foxes zone. AutoCAD right into the bumper of Prosperity. He will get it over top, but Henry's going to keep the pressure on. Henry, one-on-one, going to flick that up off the crossbar and out. Trying to find AutoCAD. What a pass from Henry, not giving up on the play, and they're on the board.
This is absolutely beautiful. I thought Henry's flick attempt was going to be in, but the minute he sees that it isn't, he is already looking for his teammate to set the pass up. That is absolutely beautiful teamwork, and that's why these guys are both in the top 10 for goals. 45 for AdoCat has him in second, 32 for Henry, he's in ninth. These guys are prolific strikers.
Absolutely, yeah. AdoCat and Henry definitely not two guys you want to give the ball to, but Henry just misses that one high as now Prosperity looks to go one-on-one with AdoCat. Gets the fake and the flick. Prosperity with the patience puts the Hive back on top.
Yeah, AdoCat had to run all the way home for boost, and he actually doesn't find any there. Leaves him in a poor position to challenge this, and Henry is too far away to really properly support there, so it gives Prosperity all of the initiative. He has a well-placed flick and just a beautifully executed solo play.
So 2-1 now for the Hive in this game. Number one, AdoCat will get that over top. He's still trying to find the play. Actually gets a bump onto both players, and Henry's going to put it home. The physical play from the Foxes.
Yeah, beautiful work here by AdoCat. He gets the bump on Malamente to prevent the clear, and the second on Prosperity to open the shot up for his teammate Henry there. That's the kind of high-paced action we expect out of this Foxes team, and it has them where they are. I know if they can get a strong enough win, they should wrap up not only a playoff position, but they can actually clinch their division right here tonight.
I think I saw that. I think they have to sweep this one, though, which is quite the tall order, even for a team like the Foxes against a team like the Hive. So AdoCat's going to get another demo, but certainly possible. We could see anything in this series. Right now it is 2-2 game one, 25 seconds to go. That's off the back wall. Henry's going to challenge Malamente and actually win that one. As now AdoCat trying to play it out of the corner, gets by one. Prosperity trying to turn around, but Henry having none of that will play it into the Hive corner. Malamente, Prosperity now out of his own corner. Just about 5 seconds until overtime. Henry wants to try to force the issue. Malamente not really letting him do that. AdoCat's going to keep it in, but it's going to bounce. We're going to see overtime game number one. This one, it could go either way right now.
Yeah, it really could. Prosperity with a good read there to not try to keep that ball alive, because if he'd popped that up, AdoCat would have had the punish, and they could have won that in 0 time. So good, smart Rocket League from the Hive there at the close. Now they just have to be, well, at this stage, perfect, because it's all on the line for the next goal.
Let's see which team can find that golden goal in game number one. Henry up into the air. Malamente can't get the touch, but Prosperity is there. We'll try to control this one. Good flick from him. That one got so much air. He's going to go off the back wall. Here comes Malamente opting to rotate back. Fearing getting beat by Henry, and now he's going to go up his own back wall. Prosperity almost making that work from his own end. AdoCat, a little bit of an awkward touch. Going to give Prosperity a chance to put this towards the cage. Henry has to go up and make the save. So about a minute into overtime. Both teams really haven't changed up their style. It's a little less aggressive, but still some good opportunities on either end of the pitch.
Yeah, some good opportunities, and at this level, we talked about it pregame. It's a game of inches. It's just a matter of who flinches first and makes the worst mistake. What a demo! AdoCat is up! Oh. Prosperity with a good save.
Yeah, wonderful play from Prosperity to keep that out, but the ball is not out of the zone yet. Henry's going to take the 50-50 with Malamente, and now AdoCat trying to follow it up. The pressure on the Hive now. They have boost, though. Prosperity getting it over one. Can he get the second touch? Malamente instead will follow it up. It's going to go off the back wall. Prosperity! And what a save from Henry! Malamente's trying to follow it up, looking for the fake, not going to find it. And Henry keeps us in overtime.
What an insane play from Henry there. I mean, that is pure mechanics and prediction at its finest right there. I thought for sure that final shot was in. Henry, just a stone wall in front of the net.
My word, if you're the Hive, that's got to hurt. Unless they can score on this one, AdoCat's got to make the save. Malamente, good shot from him, but it's going to go back into the Hive zone. Malamente trying to follow this up off his own back wall. Going to push it right into AdoCat, though, and AdoCat Now looking to create some offense. Prosperity going to beat him to that one. He's up on the half wall. Playing it back down. Henry in an awkward spot. Relying on his teammate. Malamente's here. He's going to put it up. Can he put it in? No. Henry again rejecting him there, but the ball's still here. Prosperity trying to push that one through, and Atticad will clear it away. Now boomed back down. For Malamente to try to play out of his own end, and he will. A lot of offense now from both teams. Prosperity has to clear that one away. We're about 3 minutes into overtime.
Yeah, almost an entire second game here in game number 1. And these guys, as this overtime wears on, are really starting to get more risky because they're realizing playing it safe wasn't creating opportunities. And this is just getting more and more tense as the seconds drag on.
That ball's going to pop out towards mid. Atticad is there. Malamente looking for the demo. Will actually find one onto Henry. This gives Prosperity some space to try to clear this one away. Won't get over top of Atticad, however, and it will find its way back into Hive territory. Atticad looking to create some space for his team. That one's going to find Atticad. He's going to put this towards the net off the post. And Prosperity going to challenge him there. It's a scramble in front. Malamente, however, is going to clear it away, but Henry opting to back up off the crossbar from Henry. And we're still in overtime, 3:45 to go. Atticad off the back, and Henry can't find the touch. We can't find a goal. The third goal for these teams, it's just not going to happen.
Oh, my heart cannot take these sequences. Both of these teams getting so close to driving the dagger home, but the armor just thick enough on both sides. Oh, man. I mean, any of these goals, whatever's going to take it here, probably going to be goal of the game worthy at this point. It's just, I mean, these things are crazy.
Well, now Atticad's going to get over the last man in Prosperity, but Malamente rotating back in time. He can't get the touch on it, although Henry does fall. It's all on Atticad to try to make this one work. Prosperity's not going to get the touch. The Hive are scrambling on defense now. This is not a good look for them. Atticad's here. Can't find it for Henry, though. And Prosperity gets the ball out of the zone. Can he make something work? He's got a one-on-one. That one's up high. It's going to go off the crossbar and out from Henry, as now he's going to clear that one away as well. Malamente, the last guy back, has to make the save. Atticad looking to play this one. He's got to back up. Malamente, is that on net? It is, and the Hive win game number 1.
I'm just so shocked that this is the one that does it. Atticad missing a half flip, has no momentum to retreat from that one, so when he doesn't get up for the challenge, he doesn't have time to get back, and the Hive win just an absolute stunner. I mean, any way this game ended, you say, wow, what a performance. But a little bit disappointing in the way that the goal was scored there. Just one slight defensive miscue on the mechanics, and Atticad lets the game-losing goal in for his team.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was a fantastic game number 1. We've got four more upcoming from these two teams. I mean, that was just insane. We knew that this game was going to be pretty close when we came into it. I will be honest, I did not expect a near 5-minute overtime from game 1. And to be 100% honest, I didn't expect the Hive to win that one.
I mean, it seems like for a lot of that game, the Foxes were really in control, but once that overtime started to settle into a solid back and forth, the Hive really come out with a lot of pressure and a lot of really good offense, and it was just miracle defense that kept the Foxes from losing that earlier. But at the same time, the Foxes flipped the script even later in the overtime. Right. It was really back and forth all the way through. If we get an entire series of this, we're going to be casting this to like 10:30.
Yeah, we're going to have to skip the next series. Oh, man. 2 series for the price of 1. But game number 1 is over and done with the Hive. Up by 1, and we are into game number 2. We'll see if the Foxes can respond in kind with a win of their own, or if the Hive push this series to its breaking point early on. As now Henry gets that over top of Prosperity. Malamente is back. Henry has a good opportunity. Can't quite find the touch. Atticad there to follow it up. He's got to hustle back, does Henry. But Prosperity just couldn't collect the ball. Didn't have enough boost, really, to push that down the field quickly enough. Malamente, what a great fake, but won't find the touch as he gets bumped from behind by Henry. And Again, both teams, I mean, it's like we're picking up directly where the last game left off.
Yeah, I mean, no change up in momentum. It seems almost as if no adjustments were really made from the overtime. They're coming out exactly as they were. What a pinch! Adocad and Prosperity have a meeting at the halfway line, and Adocad wins hard. What a read.
Yeah, unfortunately for Prosperity, I think of course, hindsight's 20/20, right? But if he lets that go, he has a much easier play over top of Adocad than trying to hit it around him there. But hey, I mean, the Foxes are going to take that every single time. A great pinch, as you said, by Adocad. Reading that one, and Malamente's going to get stopped by Henry. Great reaction time by him to stop the Hive from tying it up, and we've got about 3 minutes, 40 seconds to go, and Malamente looking to press the Foxes now as Henry's going to clear it away. Prosperity trying to control this one, but it's going to get away from him now as Adocad plays out of the corner. Right out in front, but Malamente with a boomer as Prosperity tries to follow this up. Towards the cage, not a whole lot doing there. The Foxes did kind of double commit to that, a little bit weird. We saw that earlier on. They kind of solved that problem as we moved into overtime. We didn't really see too many double commits from the Foxes. But it seems like they're almost kind of returning to that. It's kind of odd to see.
It is a little odd, but that one had a fairly decent explanation. Henry took a weird angle at that ball played in the corner, and then he needed to get to net, and it caused him and Addo to be driving directly at each other. So a little bit of confusion there, but I don't think it's going to be an ongoing problem for them. Just an oddity of the situation.
Well, we'll see as we are halfway gone. The Hive need to score 1. Prosperity is not going to get back in time. Make that 2 for the Hive now as the Foxes will take that open net.
A beautiful setup work by Addo. He wanted to get that second touch himself, and he could have had a shot there. It would have been very precise. But, I mean, just by being in that way, he makes it a tough challenge for the Hive and creates a good opportunity for Henry. And, I mean, these two working together at full tilt are as dangerous as it gets in MLE. So this is something the Hive are going to have to figure out how to shut down before it gets going again.
Elemente going to get that over top of Adocad. Now Prosperity, it's a 2-on-1, although Henry going to challenge that super early, and it's going to work out for him. Henry with an aggressive challenge and a goal on the back end.
Yeah, this is almost an ill-advised challenge in many cases because it's so easy to lose that. And if you do lose it, there is nobody back. The Hive have a free run at your goal. But if you've got the confidence that he has from their 2-goal lead, you can go for it. And if you win, good things happen.
3-0 now for the Foxes. By far the largest lead we've seen so far in this series. It is only game number 2. It feels like this is game 5. As Malamente is going to put that one top shelf, and they're going to claw their way back inch by inch right now are the Hive.
Yeah, Henry needed to challenge this on the backboard, but he doesn't have the boost for it. And so there's just not a lot he can do. That shot is super fast coming right at him. And with no boost, there's just no good way for him to pre-jump that and cut off the angles well enough to do anything. So he just has to kind of let it go. And they say, well, you know, we're still up by 2. We can do this.
That they can. Although Malamente wants to make that a 1-goal lead. Not the touch he was looking for there. Will wind up in Fox's corner for Adocad to play away. Prosperity's got to be careful. This one's going to pop up for Henry. That one's just a bit off the mark. The Hive dodge a bit of an unfortunate situation, and they even... No, it doesn't go in. I thought that one had the legs on it to find the net, but not quite. Now the Foxes in transition. Malamente, the only one back. He's got to get a bit of a touch, and Henry will just keep it in this Hive corner for now. Prosperity. It's a little bit of a flick over top. This ball is going to zoom its way down the field, but 45 seconds to go. Fox is up by 2. The Hive just haven't found the offense here in this second game, and that one will just go in, and we're just going to ignore that.
Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty directly like an own goal, but Malamente really has no choice there. Adocad gets to that ball before Prosperity if Mala doesn't do anything, and so he's just trying to be there fast enough to pinch it off of the post. It doesn't work out, and they go back down by 3, but really they have to figure out the other end of the field. They play pretty good defense for the most part. They're just not creating solid shooting opportunities on the offensive side.
Yeah, exactly. And for the Foxes, they've changed their ways a little bit on offense. At least from last game, as Malmente's going to put that one in. A good read from him off that back wall. Just a little too late, I think, for the Hive. But for the Foxes on offense, we've seen a bit of a switch there. I don't know exactly what it is. It seems like they're playing at least with a little bit more confidence. They're finding each other through mid a little bit more. And what I think they're doing really well right now is keeping the ball in from mid. It always seems to be on the Hive half, and their clears from the Hive, while they were good in game 1, it seems like the Foxes have found a way to hem them in.
Yeah, the Foxes just an incredible game of ball control this time around, and it prevented the Hive from having good opportunities to get anything going. That's why their shot total is where it is, and it's why their goal total is where it is. They just, couldn't really do anything. And Malamite had a few boomers down the pitch that allow them to get those 2 goals. But, 4 shots from Addo and 3 shots from Henry, each of them getting a pair of goals. It's just the Foxes are executing their game plan, which is hold on to the ball, take more shots, and be in control of everything. And if they continue to do that, they should be able to continue winning in this series.
Yeah, I like the spread from the Foxes, too. If we look at the stats, both players 2 goals, pretty even number of shots, even number of saves. Most of the time when I'm watching, I'm trying to look for that standout player who's really making it happen for his team. But with the Foxes, Henry and Adocad, they're both doing equal amount of work, and it's really working out for them in this series thus far.
Yeah, I mean, it can be really hard in MLE to do one guy carries really hard and the other guy just kind of stays back and plays a little bit of cleanup. You have to work together, and Addo and Henry have really embraced that, and it's why Adocad is 3rd in assists and Henry is top 10 in goals. I mean, they work splendidly well together, and it's got them this far. It could, this could be a championship caliber team easily.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think if the Foxes continue the path that they're going on, we were talking a little bit about predictions, not you and I, but earlier on I was having a conversation about predictions for the different leagues, and definitely the Foxes are probably my top pick in the Premier League as a whole right now. But certainly to find their way into the championship match would be no surprise, I think, to anybody, as they're going to get on the board first. Adocad with a good dunk over top of the Hive defense.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of it comes down to Adocad. He's just head and shoulders above so many Rocket League players, no matter where you put him, and he's already won an MLE championship with the Hurricane a couple seasons ago. So he's playing because he expects to be back there, and the Foxes have done a really good job of building a good team that can support Adocad and that can feed off of him, and he can feed them. So it's just an incredible job that they've done of putting this squad together.
Well, for the Hive, however, they are down a goal in this game number 3. They have plenty of time to try to find it. Henry's going to go a bit high there off the bar. But again, this Fox's offense doing what they do best. However, that one will eventually chase Henry back to his own net. Malmente's got a chance to try to play a little bit of spoiler, but nothing doing for him right now. Some cross signals there from the Hive gives Henry the ball. He will get the 50-50, and Malamente gonna have to rotate back to try to play this one. Adocad across the net mouth. Nothing doing, just a bit too hard. Henry not even in a position to try for that one. He will take this into the black corner. Prosperity trying to clear it away. Atacad having none of it. And again, it's just the Foxes. Their mid play is so dominant right now. Even with Malamente's boomers, it just doesn't seem to matter. They can't get out of their zone.
Yeah, the Hive seem really kind of frazzled right now. They're just trying to react to the ball, and they're not getting good quality hits on it where they can decide where it's going. They're just blasting it down the field and hoping for the best. And that's not going to work against a team firing on all cylinders. And now Henry taking the slow play. Oh, this could be savage. Luckily, the clear comes out. That would have been, whew, that would have been something.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like the Hive are a bit shell-shocked. I mean, I wouldn't even say they're shell-shocked. It's just they can't find the space that they had in game number 1. Foxes have really cut down on the amount of space the Hive get. And now, Malamente will play this one into Atacad. Cleared away, Prosperity high off the sidewall. Can he beat Henry? No, he doesn't get to it. It is still a 1-goal game for the Foxes. 2 minutes to go in this third game of the 5-game series. As Prosperity trying to play that one away from Henry. Again, the Hive playing this game of just trying to get it out. Although this one, a little bit of a counterattack. Not going to be too long-lived. Well, as I say that, Prosperity getting past both defenders, but Atacad taking his time off the back wall, putting it back into the Hive zone. Malamente's got to clear it away.
Yeah, I mean, the Hive have been getting some more touches here, but it seems to be on the Foxes' terms. There's not really but the one good solid shot that came out of it, and the Hive just not fast enough challenging these balls. What a shot. Good save by Malamente. It just seems like the Hive have lost a step of their speed, whereas the Foxes are always in the right place so far here in Game 3.
And what I'd like to see from the Hive, I think a little bit, I mean, certainly this game's not over, but they're not getting the space they want. Is that one going to go in? It will. Prosperity with a good challenge. I mean, hey, we're tied up again, even with the kind of lopsided pressure. You know, the Hive back on top. Prosperity getting a good challenge there, reading that one well. Bit of a defensive rotation issue there for the Foxes. It will find its way in, but for the Hive, they're getting shut out. I mean, I think we can agree that they're getting suffocated for space, right?
Absolutely.
One way that you can create space in Rocket League is to use your car to move people out of your way. I mean, literally. Bump them, demo them, whatever you can do to give your teammates space with the ball. And the Hive haven't done that at all, really. It's only been the Foxes utilizing that physical play.
Yeah, and the physical play is just such a powerful tool. We've seen it over and over again in MLE, that the really physical teams do a great job of creating offensive opportunities and taking control of series. And the Foxes have really embodied that. Some of their, best goals this series came off of demo and bump plays. And if the Hive can't figure out how to make that work for them, they're going to struggle against teams that do know how to use it.
Well, looks like we're going to be heading into overtime here. Game 3, the Hive trying to push the ball down, but not going to happen. And we are back to overtime. We'll see how long this one goes between these two teams. The last one we saw in Game 1, just about 5 minutes. The Hive taking that one in pretty stunning fashion, as now Henry try to play this out of the black corner. Prosperity going to challenge him there. It's going to go high for Malamente to clear down. And Atacad off the back. There's Henry to push it forward for Malamente to try to play away. He's going to get demoed. There's the physical play from Henry. He's trying to get the bump on Prosperity, but Atacad goes high, and now Malamente with a clear. Atacad had an opportunity there. He just needed to get that ball down.
Yeah, that shot comes any lower at the goal. Malamente just barely missing, and Addo on good cleanup turns it safely to the side. I mean, the Hive are still in this. They just have to get back to creating these opportunities and really make sure they don't leave themselves vulnerable to those bumps and demos.
Well, right now, it seems like they're doing a good job of at least getting more pressure. I would have liked to see this in regulation time, but hey, we are in overtime now as Henry can't make the touch. Adicad's got to rotate back to play this one. Malamente trying to challenge him. He's going to have to take the boost instead of the ball there, and it will just allow Adicad to try to clear it away. He even gets the 50. That's now Prosperity playing this down. Henry off his sidewall for Adicad. He will get the boomer. Prosperity up to make the play. It's going to come down to Henry. That was a bit of a double commit. The bump and the goal for Henry. He gets the assist. But my word. What? I didn't think Adicad actually hit that.
I'm not entirely sure exactly how those touches worked out there, but I know... it does bounce off Addo in the end there. But really what Addo did was get a glorious bump on the defender. And we just got done talking about how important those physical plays are. And what happens? A physical play gets the win here in game number 3. And this puts the Foxes on game point now. They've got the 2-1 lead in the series.
Yep, they battled back down a game early. They played well last game. In this game, I mean, we looked at, if you want to look at the shots as an indicator, it was 11 shots for the Foxes to the 4 of the Hive. Certainly not the numbers that the Hive are looking for, but it just all goes back to the control the Foxes had in the black zone for pretty much, 4 minutes of that game.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at 11 shots for the Foxes compared to only 4 for the Hive. It's just total domination of the middle of the pitch for the Foxes. And, Henry and Adocad just work so well together. They play off each other and feed off the pace and style of each other. And it's a beautiful thing to watch. We need to watch more of it. Let's watch more of it, like, right now.
Well, there you go. We are getting into game number 3, and I think it is worth mentioning the Hive had an opportunity at the early, at the onset of overtime. A bit of a defensive error from the Foxes, a double commit, I think it was, and Malamente missed it wide in that overtime period. And there's the Foxes to get on the board early yet again. But, I mean, yeah, we can't harp on it now because it didn't go in. It's over. It's done with. But in the mind of the Hive, they could be up 2-1 in this series, not down.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at a series that had 2 overtimes, you can flip either of those games the other way. This could be 3-0 for the Hive if the Foxes get one of their spectacular goals in game 1 overtime as well.
Sure.
So there's a lot on this line here, and as we said, this was going to be a game of inches, and 2 overtimes in 3 games is the definition of a game of inches. You don't get any closer than that.
Well, 40 seconds have passed. The Foxes up 1-0 in this game number 4. They are up 2-1 in the series and look to remain undefeated if they can pull out one of the next 2. For the Hive, however, they would love to hand the Foxes their first loss of the season in this sixth week here at MLE. 6 of 7. Malamente is going to play that one towards the back wall. Henry's going to touch that down. He's lucky that one didn't find its way in. But the Hive couldn't follow it up, and still, the Foxes lead about almost 1:30 gone.
And this is a lot like what we saw in the last game, too, where the Foxes get out to a 1-goal lead early and then just kind of play keep away with that ball for a long time. Now we need to see if the Hive can capitalize on that demo and build some offense, actually get some kind of ball control going here and really create pressure from it.
Oh no, Adicad, can he make this one work? Oh, just off the top of the bar. Close from him, and that's a missed opportunity. I don't think he was expecting the whiff from the Hive, though. Can't really fault him for that. He tried to do what he could there, but now Malamente on the counterattack will get the bump onto Henry. Going to put him in a bit of an awkward spot, but he's just going to rotate back. Although Prosperity going to go up and reject Adicad from doing anything with that ball. So Malmente is going to try to boom this one down. It's going to go up for Adicad, who will play it off to the side, but this gives Prosperity some space. Towards the net, not on goal though, as Henry will clear it away. Can he find another touch? He will, but it's going to give Malamente Prosperity an opportunity to play this one. And the Hive, I don't know. It seems a bit odd. They're not working the offense the way they did in the past couple of games. It seems like they're keeping the ball in, but that's about the extent of what they're doing.
Yeah, the Fox's defensive rotation means that this ball isn't getting out of the corner. And the Hive are matching that really well to keep it on the orange side, but they're not doing anything creative enough to generate shooting opportunities. And that means that the clock ticks away, and that's really exactly what the Foxes want in this situation. Dadocad with a good clear there. I see you, Crossfire. And, you know, the Foxes are...
Oh!
No! Dadocad!
You did it! You did it, Sniper! You did it! The caster's curse is real, ladies and gentlemen, and we just saw it in action. I mean, we were even talking about the Fox's defense, right? Like, the Fox's defense has been so good. And all of a sudden, you say Dadocad, and that happens. I think he might be listening. I think he's doing that to spite you.
Probably. And, you know, Addo and I go way back from the early days of Nexus, so he might do something like that just to spite me. It wouldn't put it past him at all. Prosperity with a good shot. Dadocad patiently playing it off the back.
Well, minute 30 gone, and the Hive gifted one, certainly. We'll see if they can use that to their advantage as we push closer and closer to overtime. Dadocad taking his time with Malamente. Henry pushing it towards the cage, just off the mark from him. Had a bit of an open net there, just couldn't find it, as now Dadocad's going to clear this one away. Prosperity in a bit of an awkward spot, won't find it, but a good demo from Malamente, taking Dadocad out of the play. And Henry will put it into the corner for Prosperity to watch come down towards him. Dadocad not going to give him a chance to play it. That's a double commit from the Foxes, but Henry gets back in time. The Hive couldn't rotate fast enough to make that one work.
Yeah, and the Hive, for their part, finally recognizing a sitting still Foxes player and blowing him up. But in the end, it doesn't matter because they can't get off their defensive side of the field. I mean, the rotations from the Foxes have just been spot on, and the defensive double commit punished as you would expect of two of the top scorers in the league.
Craziness. That both of the Foxes players were in the Hive net, and they still couldn't clear the ball out of the zone. Like, that's just how good the Foxes have been against this Hive team. I mean, granted, the Hive were scrambling during that play, and they just couldn't get to the ball fast enough to clear it away, but just kind of goes to show. And now they're down a goal. The Foxes look to stay undefeated. Prosperity's going to try to get this past Henry. Malmente turning it away, and just going to wait for a moment. Dadocad opting to boom that one down. Can't get it over Prosperity. Henry with the follow-up towards the net. Malmente's there, 10 seconds to go. The Hive need a goal to keep their series hopes alive. The net is open for Prosperity, and he misses it wide. Henry going to clear that one over top of him. One more over Malmente, and the Foxes are going to win it just like that. I mean, was there a different outcome we were expecting?
Yeah, I mean, just a tiny little bit of difference on where he puts that nose on that touch, and they tie it up with a kickoff between them and overtime. But, you know, the Foxes, the consummate strikers, are really being held in check. This is probably the fewest goals that they've scored in a series. They've only got 10 goals on the night so far.
Right.
And, I mean, they're averaging 4 goals a game. So this is a very quiet night for them. The Hive are showing up on the defensive side. They just can't seem to generate the offense of their own.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and we can even see that with the shots. The Hive only generating about 3 shots there, I think, before we went to this final game. Yeah, it kind of goes back to what we were saying. You know, the Hive, we're keeping the ball in a little bit better this time as we move into game number 5. They were keeping the ball in the Fox's zone, but they weren't finding that touch to put it on net. You know what I mean? Like, the Foxes, I don't know if it was the Foxes' defense or just some flustered offense from the Hive, but the Foxes just keeping everything to the outside. The Hive never had any shots, even with the pressure, but it wasn't the story for the Foxes. However, I have to 100% agree with you. It is kind of odd to see the Premier League Foxes only scoring 1-2 goals a game.
And I think we're going to see them more aggressive now. We've already seen it so far because they've got the series win racked up. Their, undefeated series streak now still intact through 6 weeks. And it looks like they're playing more aggressively. AutoCAD drawing first blood here in Game 5. And just look at how aggressively positioned Henry is through all of this sequence. Like, they have no intention of not scoring a ton of goals in this game.
Well, let's see how this one goes. I'm sure the Hive would love to get one back here. And the series, it's going to be a loss either way, but a 3-2 loss is far preferable than a 4-1. As Henry's going to clear this one down, Prosperity's going to turn around and try to make this one work for him. He will get over AutoCAD and looks for his teammate. What a pass! What a play from the Hive!
This is the kind of thing that I've wanted to see from the Hive all night. Prosperity is out in front and lays a beautifully placed ball for Malamente, and he gets just a pixel and frame perfect touch on that to rocket that thing at the net. If we had seen this through the entire series, we could be looking at 4-1 in favor of the Hive right now instead of, possibly this being a 4-1 Foxes win.
Yeah, this series has been unbelievably close, and I, for one, really hope that we see this in the playoffs at some point. I would love to see these two teams play against one another in the playoffs. I mean, unfortunately, that would mean that the loser would be one of the better teams to go home, but it would be quite a match as Henry goes off the crossbar and it will chase the Foxes down. But just that atmosphere, that playoff atmosphere, it would be a joy to watch these teams, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a series that I can't get enough of, and it's really my only complaint about the new format that the league has taken, because it's only 7 weeks. You only play each team once, and sometimes it's really cool to get to see these division rivals go at it, multiple times through the course of a season.
Yeah, it's one of the limitations, I will say, one of the difficulties with a league like the MLE. It can be quite hard to satisfy, because we want to have everybody be available to play when they can play. Of course, these aren't professional players by any means, so they shouldn't be held to a strict schedule, but we do want to see as many awesome matchups as we can. One we struggle with, certainly, but we are in the moment now, and I, for one, am very glad we're here as the ball's going to bounce out in front. AutoCAD and Prosperity meeting there, and we've got about 2 minutes to go, and what would you believe it, folks? It's another 1-1 game as we tick down towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, no surprises here. We always knew it was going to be close one, and some of these score lines have looked a little closer than the games have actually felt, but that just means that the Hive are really one good counterattack from swinging the momentum in their favor. They just haven't been able to get those counterattacks as reliably as they want, and they've had to rely on them because their passing and offensive rotation has not been as good as the Fox's defensive rotation.
Certainly. We'll see if the Hive can pull out that goal to take this game. We did see already a nice passing play between the Hive players, and it did put them on the board to tie it up. We'll see if they can do it again. Prosperity's going to get challenged by Henry. Malmite's got to hustle back. Actually, Prosperity gets back in time. Good play from him. Heads up play. Get back in time to keep that one out of the net. 55 seconds to go. Malamente looking to challenge Henry. Actually, he's just going to get it by him. Now, AutoCAD can't find the touch. Henry in a bit of a weird spot. Opting to play this one high off his own back wall for AutoCAD. And a good touch from him to keep that away from the hard-charging Prosperity. That's now Malamente off his own back wall. 35 seconds to go. 1-1 game. Game number 5. And for the Hive, this is definitely a game you want to win going into week number 7. Henry just beating out Prosperity to that ball. There's 25 seconds to go. 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, this is too close to call even still. We're starting to see a resurgence of aggression from the Hive. if they can grab something quick here, you know, they can avoid that overtime. But they won the first game in overtime, so they're not going to be afraid of an opportunity. Prosperity's going to give them the lead with 2 seconds left.
And
wow, what an oof.
You could tell. I don't know what cam you're using to watch, but in director cam, you could watch Henry's reaction to what just happened, and he knew that ball was going all the way in, and now there's only 2 seconds to go. Aticat, Henry's going to find the touch, going to get over top of Malamente. No, Aticat's there to keep it up, though. They still have a chance, but Malamente will spike it down, and the Hive take 2 games off the Foxes. Still, the Foxes remain undefeated. But I don't know. For the Foxes, this is not the convincing victory we've seen from them throughout the rest of the other weeks, of course.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I don't know. It was so close. I mean, they've got to feel good, the Foxes coming away from this. Obviously, they won the series, and that's all that really matters, especially in playoff time. But in the back of their mind, I mean, the Hive gave them a challenge, a good challenge.
Absolutely. I mean, this is not the Foxes' first 2-3 loss. In week one, In week one, they were only able to beat the Ducks 3-2.
Right.
But they do enough every series to come out with this win. And I mean, that's the name of the game. They're going to move up to 23-7, which is just a phenomenal record through 6 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, the Hive, for their part, you know, coming out at 17-3, no slouches themselves. And in some ways, the series score of 3-2 is really reflective of the way the game was sometimes, but not really reflective of the way the game was other times, where the Foxes were just in total ball control but didn't score as many goals as we would have expected them to. A normal Foxes series is going to be on the order of 20 goals, whereas this one, they only score 13.
Yeah, definitely a different game, I think, than you and I both were expecting. I knew that the series would be close, but I didn't expect it to be low scoring. I thought both teams would find the net a couple more times than they did. But, hey, sometimes that's just how it goes. When 2 teams' offenses are as potent as these teams have proven it to be throughout the other series, you start playing more defense. I mean, just naturally. You start...
Yeah.
You know, the more and more goals you see scored against you, the less and less fun you're having, even if you're scoring the same amount. So, you know, they start to play that defense. But, yeah, no, it was a wonderful series. Congrats to the Foxes remaining undefeated. Could they go undefeated throughout the season? They've only got 1 more week. It would be quite an accomplishment for them. But, again, a great series all around. Both of those teams looking to make a run through the playoffs, and we should see them soon. But yeah, guys, we are going to take a short break. I do just want to make sure that you know about our sponsors, PowerA and Balls. Please do check out our website, mle.esports.gg/recommends/balls or /PowerA to check out those wonderful products. You'll see them on your screen during the intermission. They are our sponsors for the evenings, and they've been our sponsors all season long, so please do check out their stuff. It helps out not only them, but also us bringing you all of this wonderful content that we bring you every single weekend. So, guys, we are going to be right back. Sniper Gus and I will bring you the final series of the night between the Spartans and Sharks of the Champion League. That's going to come up, or that will be in just a couple of moments. Don't go anywhere.